Now, it's been a frosty relationship in the past, but our relationship with the US is warming. But at what cost? There are some who fear it could hurt our reputation for independence. International relations expert Robert Patman joins us now. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning, Rachel.
Some have suggested that the Kim.com saga illustrates what can go wrong when you get too close to Washington. Why has our government moved to warm relations with America?
Well, for one thing, Rachel, I think the first point to note is that the relationship had been under some strain relating back to the mid-80s when there was a dispute over New Zealand's non-nuclear defence policy. So for a long time the two countries have been good friends, but they wouldn't classify each other as allies, or at least the United States didn't classify New Zealand in that sense. And I think all governments in this country, both national-led and also Labour-led, have sought to improve that relationship. That has now been achieved. But in the interim, of course, New Zealand has diversified its foreign policy a lot since the mid-80s. And although it wants close relations with the United States, it doesn't want to do anything to jeopardise some of its newer friends, such as China, which it has a free trade agreement. It's the only Western country which has a free trade agreement. And given these diverse range of interests that New Zealand now has, it wants to balance them.
Okay, so what does America get out of our relationship? You know, a country of 4 million or so. What's in it for them to be our friends?
Well, quite a lot, actually. And the reason is that the Obama administration in particular wants to deepen its role in the Asia-Pacific region. Mr. Obama has described himself as a Pacific power. The Americans want to link their primary foreign policy focus to the Pacific. The reason is because the dynamic economies of China, India, Vietnam, Malaysia, etc., etc. This is where the economic powerhouses of the 21st century to be found. America is conscious that its economy has relatively declined in the last few decades, and its chances of invigorating itself lie in being involved in this part of the world. And it's particularly interested, of course, in its relationship with China, both commercially but also strategically. It wants to make sure that China doesn't develop its influence or project its influence too far.
So what does it do then for the way we're perceived internationally? Does it strengthen our standing or otherwise in the world if we're closer to America?
I think on a practical level it helps, certainly in terms of intelligence sharing and defence cooperation, which is good for our military in this country. I think also, providing we pull off that delicate balancing act between friendship with China and friendship with the United States, it can work out very well for this country. One of the things that really caught a decision maker's attention in Washington was New Zealand's confidence in its ability to become the first Western country to negotiate a free trade deal with China. And of course New Zealand has ambitions, is in fact hoping to become a non-permanent member of the Security Council 2015-2016.
So are there, I guess, material benefits for New Zealand?
Well, New Zealand makes no secret of the fact that in the long term, in its relationship with the United States, it would like to move towards some sort of free trade agreement. And the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement is being negotiated. It's caused a little bit of controversy here, but we see advantages in linking up. We've had a close relationship economically with the United States for a long time, Rachel. So in a sense, this is developing that relationship.
Yes, the US election, Professor, is around a month away. Do you think our relationship with America might change if Mitt Romney becomes the new president?
I think it has the potential to change. Mr. Romney has indicated he will be adopting a much tougher line with China, for one thing, and that could put us in a bit of an awkward spot. We seem to have quite a good dialogue going on between the key government and the Obama administration. If a new Republican-led government led by Mr. Romney came to power, determined to put China in its place, it could put New Zealand in an awkward spot. But the key thing for New Zealand, because it wants to get on the get onto the UN Security Council, it will want to project itself as a friendly but independent country, something we've done quite successfully on the international stage for the last few decades, and we certainly won't want to do anything to jeopardise that.
Indeed. International relations expert Robert Patman, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.